Oh, they're fired up, but Trevor Lawrence was kind of playing the Grinch last night. Comes into New Jersey, and he just snatches some of the Jets' playoff hopes. And he also reminds Jets fans, hey, I was the first overall pick.
They know.
Not this guy that you drafted. And he went out there, and it wasn't about the 300 yards passing and 3 or 4 touchdowns. It was about doing what the team needed to get it win. A gritty performance from Trevor Lawrence. And it didn't start great. First third down of the game, they're going for it. Quinnen Williams comes in with the sack, knocks the ball loose, and gives the Jets the ball right there with an opportunity to put points on the board. But he rebounded. And the way they went about it last night, rain and wind and those conditions, a lot of quick passes. We saw Evan Ingram show up back in MetLife Stadium, back in New Jersey. He had himself a game. Well, I was most impressed by Trevor Lawrence's ability to tuck the ball and run with it. You see right there, he's running, he's not going down, he's not sliding. A gritty performance and saying, hey, you know what? We have our playoff hopes. They're alive and well. We're rolling, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to win the game. You heard him say that. Hey, each game is different. And in those conditions last night, the Jacksonville Jaguars said, hey, we know what we need to do, and we know how to play playoff football. We're handing the ball off to Travis Etienne and Trevor Lawrence. Hey, I get outside the pocket. I'm going to use my athleticism and make the Jets pay.
The Jags played great. Jags played great. Had a nice long drive. Doug Peterson gets a win. I wouldn't be myself if I wasn't going to be the resident New Yorker on the show.
Do it, dude. Get after it.
Come on. Pigsty last night.
Pigsty.
This is the headline in the Post.
Christmas
Christmas.
Cheer. What
There's
an
another one
absolute.
where they said Feliz Navidad.
Oh, very good.
Feliz
I like
Navidad
this one.
is pretty
All
good.
This is about Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
If we can get this on the camera here. You'll never make it.
No. A lump of coal left by Wilson.
Never make it. Look, if you're a New Yorker, you're waking up. You usually, your life, you're like predisposed. Like, okay, Joe Beningo's going to be on in the morning, and he's going to talk me off a ledge or talk me right to the ledge. Mike Francesa's going to be on after him, and Mike Francesa's going to go on about Zach Wilson. This and I have my friends and my texts, and this is my buddy Matt, who's a Giants Jet season ticket holder. Yeah. We've lost to the Lions and the Jaguars at home in back-to-back weeks in Detroit. This is so Jets. Why is Zach Wilson still in the game? Great, Zach Wilson's out in the game. Oh, we have Streveler in. This is terrible, unwatchable. Good night. This
Very
is what
therapeutic.
it is.
I like that you clean those up.
Was anybody responding in between those text messages? Just all him.
Yeah.
It's like how Peter texts.
That's exactly how I text.
When Peter texts you, sometimes you think your phone is getting a call because it's like, you're like, who's calling? Oh, it's
One word
just
at a
No,
time.
it's just Peter's stream of consciousness.
This is how I text.
Enter.
What do you do? What do you do? And here's the crux of it.
Yeah.
Wilson was so terrible, and the offense was so bad. And to Salah's point, it's not just Wilson. They're all awful last night. The offensive line was not stopping anything. The receivers were dropping passes. Corey Davis dropped a very easy pass from Chris Streveler late in the game that could have advanced things. Wilson looks like a kid who's, completely lost his way and has no confidence. And yet, they might have the offensive and defensive rookie of the year. They've got Garrett Wilson and they've got Sauce Gardner. So it just shows me in this league, if you don't have a quarterback and you get that wrong, you're going to be lurking in the playoff thing. You're going to be in the hunt. You're going to be, call me maybe, like in the playoff hunt. You're not going to be in the playoff hunt. You need a quarterback in 2022. And for Salah to come out there, and like he said everything he could possibly say this season.
He's trying.
There's only so many ways he can spin.
He brought up the Idaho Potato Bowl to try to hype
That was this week. He also said, this is not instant coffee. Well, it should be. It's December here. If you're Robert Saleh at this point, I don't know what you could possibly do other than try to just, face the music. And they tried. They put a 4th-string quarterback in. They put in Chris Streveler, and they just had him running, student body right and student body left, and the fans were finally excited. It's a shame because this Jets team was a really good story. They're a really good team, but I think the quarterback position's holding them back, and it's been the storyline all along, and it seems like it was never addressed, and unfortunately, they're going to be on the outside looking in.
How do you feel? How do you feel this morning?
I'm exasperated. That was a disgusting game. I mean,
way.
Al Michaels is on the call, and I want to go out there and just give him a hug.
At one point, Al and Herbie were saying, maybe if Zach Wilson just throws one long, just tries it, just throw it up. I mean, they were literally saying that. Maybe just chuck one up and maybe they make a play.
I was ready to snap last night.
Yeah, I know, and I hear you. We all were, and the Jets fans were too. Something on Jacksonville, by the way. Give me the playoff picture again. This is why it's exciting for the Jaguars, is that they're not only reeling off wins. Give me those playoff scenarios. They're in the lurking category. Look at all the teams there. They're by far playing the best of any of them. Pick any team you want. New England, obviously the Jets, but I'll do one better. They're playing better than anybody in the wild card column. Anybody. Baltimore, weird loss. Miami can't get a win. Chargers. Like the Jaguars should be there based on how they're playing. They're just not there because of math. This is not an optics thing. We're not giving letter grades. This is only math. If this was English, believe me, they're sliding over to the left column. Jacksonville, really great win. New York Jets, you know what? Oh, that bleeping draft is so hard. That NFL draft is so hard. It is so, and that is why we talk about it for months, and that is why millions of people devote that not only their jobs, but their entire careers and lives to analyzing it. I was pulling up the quotes. Man, Big Joe Douglas talked about after they took Zach Wilson. Why this kid? The dimple-faced assassin from BYU, and it's just like, listen, he checks all the boxes. We get in our meetings. We love him. Someone says, yeah, but, you know, the competition wasn't that good. He literally says, that's not his fault no more than it was Steve McNair's fault at Alcorn State. Like, we brought up McNair, the late McNair, to try to try, like, one of the toughest players of all time, an MVP. And Saleh said the same thing. He does everything. Arm strength, accuracy, he makes plays. He's fearless in the pocket. He's a leader. And it's just, that was like 20 minutes ago. That was less than 2 years ago. And it's like now we're benching him for the Strevler dude. It's a tough thing. It looks like they badly historically whiffed. And it'd be one thing if it was, Jets, who cares? The rest of the team is awesome. They got playmakers and they got people, but they're in a marriage with Zach Wilson. They're not dating him. They got married to that SOB. They did it, and he's doing the best he can, but he can't make any plays. And it's just like, we can't wait any longer. It's terrible. I have nothing good to say. Feliz Navidad. The Post is cooking with gas this morning, but I wished it was going the opposite way.
You know, you're talking about this, the Jags thing with the playoff picture. They don't need to do anything. They just need to beat the Titans.
Yeah.
That's it. They win the division.
The Titans can't win.
And they have a home playoff game.
Oh, my gosh. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Right?
Yes.
And it feels like Zach Wilson tricked the Jets like a couple years ago. He was in those meetings. He showed well in the combine. He played against non-competition in college. Not his fault, I guess. But he tricked them. You know who didn't get tricked? It was the Jacksonville Jaguars when they picked Trevor Lawrence. And this was a 1 versus 2. This was supposed to be this battle of comparison. This was not even a comparison. This was not a battle. Trevor Lawrence looked like the better quarterback far and wide last night. Time and time again, he gets hit early. He gets the ball taken away early by another top draft pick. Doesn't even flinch. Doesn't care. Rain's not bothering his hair. Rain's not bothering his play. He looked really good. I cannot stop talking about how Doug Peterson has transformed this team, but this quarterback. Another thing, too. Young quarterbacks that get drafted to systems and teams. Guys, we've seen this story a lot. Guys, quarterbacks in particular, can get ruined by coaches. And we see the story play out a lot. Oh, this guy would have been really good. He was really talented, but, man, that coach, fill in the blank, ruined him. Oh, he could have been great, but he got ruined.
He didn't let it happen.
He did not let it happen to him.
Yeah,
he did not let it happen to him.
But
that's how good he is. That's how much talent Trevor Lawrence had. 8.5-minute drive, 96-yard drive, doesn't flinch. Just keeps marching down the field with his arm, with his legs, getting everybody involved. This team is really good. They're really fun to watch. Last year, 2-6. This year, 7-8. That's a really good team. That's a really good turnaround.
It's huge.
Yeah.
And I think for Lawrence to play like that in MetLife Stadium, like, can you imagine a worse night at the ballpark for Jets fans than that, with the weather, the performance and everything? It's like
national TV.
And then Lawrence comes in, you're like, oh, that was the one. It's like all a kid wants for Christmas is he wants a red bicycle. It's all he wants. And in the morning, he opens up and he gets a sweater. And as he looks through the window into his neighbor's house, his little brat neighbor's got the most beautiful red bicycle you've ever seen in your life. And it's got tassels on it. It's got a banana seat. And it's just like, I got the sweater. That's where they are this morning. It's terrible. I feel for them.
And you have the sweater, too. So
I do have the sweater, but I wanted the sweater.
Yeah,